The Oklahoma City Thunder have officially clinched a playoff spot. What is going on, y'all? 5 Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA here to talk about the OKC Thunder and then finally getting into the postseason. And what a whirlwind it's been in the Western Conference with a bunch of these teams, notably from 3 to 8 in terms of the seedings, all getting sort of shaken up, if you will, who's in or who's out. And we still have a few days left of the regular season to play out, but the OKC Thunder have punched their ticket officially to the playoffs. So here to talk about how far can this team go in the playoffs, what are the implications now that they've made the playoffs, and all of that. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So it might not seem like a big deal that the Thunder made the playoffs. I mean, I expected the OKC Thunder to make the playoffs this season before the season started. Of course, when they had acquired Paul George and Carmelo Anthony, a lot of people had high expectations, like, could this Thunder team win a championship? And we saw as the season progressed that was less and less likely to happen. However, I do still think this OKC team can make some noise in the playoffs, depending on who they match up with, of course. And we all know that 7th and 8th seed are basically sort of, death wishes, if you will. You have to play Houston or Golden State, who are locked into those top 2 spots, okay? So right now, as things sit, the Thunder are more than likely going to be the 6th seed, okay? They play the Grizzlies on Wednesday, and if they beat the Grizzlies are awful. They're a G League team right now. They will beat them. So they will be locked into that 6th seed. They could possibly move higher than that, but I'm guessing they're going to be at that 6th slot, which would then match them up with possibly Portland, okay? So it would be Portland versus Oklahoma City in the first round. Of course, Portland would have home court advantage, but this is a matchup that, as much as, the Blazers have been impressive this season, OKC could upset them. Now, in terms of matchups, individually, you got Steven Adams on the inside to match up with Nurkic. So you got 2 good bigs going in that battle, and you can hope Steven Adams can contain at least Nurkic, if not slow him down. You've got Russ and Damian Lillard. That's going to be the premier matchup. I don't think either can stop one another from scoring, so really that will even out there. And then you've got Paul George on the wings with CJ McCollum, guys like Al-Farouq Aminu and whatnot. The real key will be, what will the Thunder get from Carmelo Anthony? Will they need to make some changes in the playoffs to where they might need to bring Melo off the bench, because Jeremiah Grant has been better than Melo in certain spots. And we've seen Carmelo Anthony at this point has not really been much of a sort of defensive prowess wizard, if you will. We all know Melo can't play defense. He's very one-dimensional, and we've known this, but it's been very highlighted this season. We all know Melo's not the player that he once was. So interesting matchup in the first round, and I would give the Oklahoma City Thunder a shot to win that matchup, okay? Now, they shouldn't want the 7th seed. The Thunder shouldn't, because that would mean, like I said, a matchup with the Warriors. But if they beat the Portland Trailblazers, they would eventually face the Warriors in the second round. And at that point, we're all assuming Steph Curry is going to be fully healthy, and I would take the Warriors easily over the Thunder at that point, barring Russell Westbrook, going absolutely nuts and averaging, a 50-point triple-double. I'm just obviously exaggerating here, but I would take the Warriors at that point. So really, to summarize what exactly this means for the Thunder, making the playoffs was a way for them to sort of have a better chance at being able to re-sign Paul George, because clearly if they had not made the playoffs, I think Paul George would have more than likely left. I still think he might leave, but this at least gives them a little bit more of a pull to say, hey, we made the playoffs, we might have made the second round, depending on what happens. Come back, re-sign with us. We can go far out. We can add more players to this team. So let's see what happens there. I think after this season, let's see what happens with Carmelo Anthony. A lot of things are going to be determined in the playoffs, okay, for the OKC Thunder. But in terms of how far they can go, I don't see this team as a championship contender. I just don't think they're a good enough three-point shooting team. You have a guy like Carmelo Anthony, who is a one-dimensional player. Russell Westbrook the team is too reliant on him. Paul George is sometimes going in and out. The bench is very weak. You have been getting some production from Corey Brewer, but that 2 spot really has been a liability for the Thunder all season long. So they're just better teams than the Thunder. So they're not going to make the NBA Finals, let alone win a championship this season. The farthest I see this team going is the second round of the NBA playoffs, depending on how matchups shake out. And if the matchups don't shake out in their favor, they could be a first round exit. That is just what I think, folks. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. Feel free to debate me. As always, follow me on my social media links down below for that. And as always, thank you for watching.